Hi everybody, it's Friday morning and this weekend is the big Friends of the Library sale here in the local town, and it's really a big deal. It's I guess like a 4-day sale, maybe 5 days, but they've got all kinds of books, music, vinyl, CDs, magazines, movies, even laser discs I've seen there. Really cool sale, and so it's I get really hyped up, excited about it. Unfortunately, this is twice a year. Unfortunately, this time I've got some family stuff going on tomorrow, Saturday morning, so I'll probably miss the first day of the sale. It's just kind of okay because it's always just a mad rush to the vinyl, to anything really. I mean, people just they line up for blocks to get into this thing, and file in. It's just shoulder to shoulder digging, but I've pulled out some really cool stuff in the last few sales, so I'm probably going to go Sunday, the second day, and hit it again a few more times over the next days as the prices decrease. They go like I think the third or fourth day it's a half price day, and then the final day of the sale everything's like 10 cents a piece. So really cool sale. So right now it's kind of the calm before the storm. I really like getting there that first day, getting in early and getting first pick, but you know, this time someone else will get a shot at it. Hopefully not too many jazz fanatics in town will be there, and they'll leave something for me so I can pick over the carcass. So let me get into what I've picked up over the last I guess week. Been hitting up the thrift shops. You know, I see a lot of comments online. People, you know, someone will post they had a great thrift shop haul, and people say, "Oh, my thrift shops stink." You know, nothing good ever comes in. But I kind of come to the conclusion it's not about whether your thrift shop has anything good. It's all about timing, because you know, sometimes they'll get a collection in of really cool stuff, but it's not going to last long. You know, there's people who hit thrift shops every day or every other day. And so if you're going once a week, chances are if you're not there the day they put it out, it's going to be gone by the time you're there. So kind of, you know, with my work situation, I've had more time recently where I can hit these thrift shops kind of on a more regular basis, and I'm seeing a lot of cool stuff, and a few times catching them right after they put things out, and that's just, you really you know, can appreciate that it's all about timing. You know, what you see often, I think, is just the leftovers of what was there. And a good example of that, in one of my last videos, I talked about going to the hospice thrift store here in town, and they put out a big collection of it was like jazz and country music vinyl, like 2 big rolling bins of it, and pulled out some pretty cool stuff, some nice kind of big band stuff, some kind of more obscure jazz stuff. But I talked to a guy in town the other day. I ran to him at the Second and Charles store here in town. He used to run a record shop in town. He digs around just as much as I do. I tend to run into him on Saturday mornings. Apparently he was there the day they put this stuff out and got first pick, and sounded like he found some pretty cool stuff. There was an LP by a guy named Warren Marsh, who was, I think he played sax, kind of a West Coast jazz guy. And this one was on Atlantic, so I'm guessing late 50s. And he said he found some, I think they were Japanese pressings. I think he said they were blues collections or maybe some kind of jazz thing, but they were like double LP sets. Although he said like each set was missing one record, so he was kind of discouraged. But it sounded like he bought quite a bit of stuff, because he said he brought it to the counter and you know, just made them an offer and they accepted it. You know, they didn't buy everything $1 a piece like I did. So it sounded like you bought quite a bit of stuff. So, you know, sometimes you get first pick, and sometimes you just kind of get to pick through the leftovers. But I was pretty happy with what I found in the leftovers. So anyway, moving on. Here's what I found in thrift shops lately, and a few other places. At the let's see, the local Humane Society thrift shop. They've had a couple of big bins of records come through. A couple weeks ago it was kind of 80s music, and this last time it was more like classic rock stuff from the late 60s and 70s, Grand Funk, The Guess Who, things like that. I grew up listening to all that radio, so I don't really pick a whole lot of that stuff up, but I found a cool jazz record. This is Mel Torme. I always think of Night Court, that TV show, and I see Mel Torme, the Velvet Fog here. Or the Seinfeld episode where Kramer gets invited to, being a very special person, to show up at some charity event. And Mel Torme is there. This is the Duke Ellington and Count Basie songbooks. I guess it's a reissue of a classic Verve record. This I think is a German pressing. You can kind of tell it's got that really thin cardboard, and then the vinyl itself is real floppy. You can hear it there. That real floppy kind of 80s vinyl that came out of Europe a lot. Nothing wrong with that. I found a lot of these are really nice pressings. I don't think everything has to be 180 gram to sound good. So that's kind of cool. Some of the musicians on here, if I can read it, Frank Rossellino, trombone, Bill Perkins, tenor and baritone sax, Al Hendrickson guitar, Joe Mondragon bass, Shelly Manne drums. So your typical kind of West Coast jazz guys backing them up. And it looks like this is from 60 and 61. And then that was it for that. I didn't pick up much there. And I took a run out to a local antique mall next door to a flea market just outside of town here. And I go there about every 6 months or so. I try to hit the antique malls in the area. And there's some cool booths there with vinyl. One's got more kind of classic rock stuff, and they had a few things I was interested in, but the prices are kind of high. But he did have, I was digging through the bins. He kind of had the bins up top that had the more collectible stuff like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, but underneath he had a couple bins that were dollar bins. And I was digging through and I found this jazz record, which is pretty cool. On the Prestige label, or actually New Jazz, I guess it was a division of Prestige. It's the Jazz Soul of Cleopatra. And it's a collection, I don't know if it's a compilation of stuff off of Prestige or if these were done just for the album. But it's all kind of Middle East flavored stuff. There's the label, the New Jazz label. So you got John Coltrane, Ahmed Abdul Malik, Dizzy Reese, Udi Harant, and Yusef Lateef among the musicians. Yeah, some pretty cool stuff. The vinyl it's a little scuffed up, but not bad. And the jacket itself it looks pretty good on the front. The back's got some not really water damage, but it got wet and there's some mold damage on the back. So that's probably why he marked it down to $1. So $1 for this. If this was in really nice shape, it'd probably be worth like 30 bucks or something. But it's got the damage to the jacket and stuff, and the vinyl's kind of scuffed up. But I don't care. I just as long as the cover looks nice and the vinyl, once it's scrubbed up and vacuumed, it sounds good. I'm happy with it. So I was really happy to find that. That's kind of a neat deal there. I didn't have anything on that New Jazz label, so that's pretty neat. And another booth at the antique mall there had some cool jazz stuff, a lot of jazz stuff. I picked up a couple by Keith Jarrett. This one is called Staircase on ECM. Another addition to the ECM Records collection. 2 record set. In pretty good shape. I think this one is a German pressing. Yep, German pressing. The vinyl's actually in really nice shape. Really nothing wrong with it, I can see. Let me see now. Typical ECM label there, German pressing. And this was $3.50, so pretty good. Set that aside. And then picked up another Keith Jarrett for $2. This one called Mysteries, and it's on the ABC Impulse label. Kind of a late pressing for Impulse, but or late period Impulse. I think Esmond Edwards. Yeah, Esmond Edwards was the producer at the time. I think he was the final producer at the label before they shut down. But this one's got Keith Jarrett, Dewey Redman on sax, Charlie Hayden on bass, Paul Motion on drums, and Guillermo Franco on percussion. This is a nice little addition here. I haven't really had a chance to listen to this yet. I've got a couple other of his kind of later period Impulse records, so looking forward to checking this out. I couldn't leave it behind for $2. And let's see what else. And it had a good amount of 45s, and I looked through. And I don't really collect 45s that just come in generic sleeves very often, unless it's some really cool music. But I like looking through the picture sleeves, and especially the EPs, the little like cardboard EPs. So I picked up this one. I was really excited to find this little EP on RCA Victor. This is Shorty Rogers and His Giants. I guess that's the title of it. It's two double 7-inch reissue of I guess would have been a shellac, 10-inch shellac, 78 RPM. So there's actually 8 tracks on here, and this was only $1. But unfortunately, once I got it home, and at the store I thought it was just a one 7-inch thing. I didn't really look it over that closely. When I got home, I realized there's only one in there. It's got a nice little adapter in it already. So at some point I'll have to go back and dig through all these 45s and see if maybe the other 45 from the set is in there. If not, well, at least I got 4 songs, $1 for 4 songs. These were recorded, I think, in 1953, if I'm not mistaken. So that's this was issued in 56, but I think these were recorded in 53, so some really early stuff. Let's see some of the people. Shelly Man, it's West Coast, Shelly Man's playing drums. Joe Mondragon on bass, Hampton Hawes on piano, Art Salt, that was a pseudonym for Art Pepper, on alto sax, Johnny Graz on French horn, Jimmy Giuffre on tenor sax. So a pretty good collection of musicians there. So really excited to find this kind of stuff for $1, $2, $3.50. Not bad. I mean, I'll definitely be going back and checking out what they got. So that was it from the Antique Mall. Moving on, the Habitat for Humanity store. They don't really have much vinyl, and what they do, it hasn't been turning over lately. So they've had some cool CDs. I've picked up a lot of CDs lately, but I picked this up. I think I'd seen it before, but something about it, it's just really pretty. Decca, UK Decca pressing. This is Frank Chacksfield and orchestra play the music of George Gershwin. Just really nice, shiny, clean, beautiful shape, and UK Decca. And I like the music of George Gershwin. I guess he's it describes on the back he's a leads a light music orchestra, I guess they call it. So he's kind of gonna be like your Andrei Kostelanich or Andre Previn, or trying to think in the US who else. I don't know. Kind of like the Boston Pops or something. I'm not playing like serious classical music, but figure I'd pick it up. It's got a little rip, but I should be able to fix that up pretty easily. There's the Decca, and plus I want to kind of hear the sound quality. I've heard a lot of good things about the Decca full frequency range recording FFRR and how nicely pressed they were, especially the UK pressings. So I figured I'd check that out. So that was $1. And then there's a little shop in town. I've seen it for months now, and it's been around longer than that, but I think it changed hands, or they've kind of changed their name of the place. I think it's called like Gator Unclaimed Furniture. but it's kind of a shady looking little hole in the wall. They've got furniture, but it looks like they had some other stuff. So I finally stopped in the other day to check it out, and up front they've got a lot of furniture. It looks like it maybe kind of like fell off the truck coming in the ports off Jacksonville or something. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, there's kind of a back room. You know, I looked around the front, didn't see much interesting. It had some DVDs and some CDs. But they've got a back room. It's just packed full of stuff. And on a bookshelf, there were some records. So I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And dug through them, and it's your typical kind of, you know, thrift store, just filler. A lot of, like, you know, Costellanets, Firestone collection, Christmas music, things like that. Just Mitch Miller, all that kind of crap. But I did find one record that I've actually been looking for. I was pretty excited to find. This is the Video All-Stars doing TV jazz themes. Now this has been pressed on a number of different labels. Apparently this is on the Valiant label. Yeah, nice stereo pressing, as they boldly proclaim. You see the dual speakers there. Yeah, so it doesn't really say anywhere on the record, on the jacket, on the front or the back, but there's some heavy-duty West Coast jazz players on this one. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm sure Shelly Mann's in there somewhere playing drums. Yeah, so, you know, I'd seen someone else post this, and I'd read up on it. Yeah, it's just kind of the stuff I like, kind of the you know, cops and robbers, detective, spy type jazz music coming out of Hollywood in the late 50s, early 60s, so been wanting to pick this one up. So, you know, you've got the Peter Gunn theme, the Thin Man, 77 Sunset Strip, you know, Fallout, Dreamsville, cool stuff. So that was, asked them if they'd take $1, and they said sure, so that was cool. And then the Goodwill shop, there's one that's kind of closer to campus, and I haven't been hitting it as much lately. It's just been kind of running dry lately, nothing new, but stopped in the other day and found some kind of interesting stuff. They'd gotten a bunch of new vinyl in, but it was all pretty beat up stuff, but it's 10 records for $2, so not a big loss. So I managed to scrape together 10 records, and I'm not going to show them all because some are just kind of junky, but the more interesting stuff here. This one, Big Hits from Columbia Pictures. Apparently this first came out with a different cover and it didn't sell well, and so they reissued it with these beautiful women, Kim Novak and Rita Hayworth on the cover, and it sold better. And this is the Hollywood Grand Studio Orchestra, arranged and conducted by John T. Williams. And of course John T. Williams is the John Williams who went on to do the music to Star Wars, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Superman, Jurassic Park. I think he did some of the Harry Potter music, all that good stuff. But I didn't really even realize, I didn't look this over too closely, I didn't realize that when I bought it. The reason I bought it is it's on this cool yellow vinyl here. I think this is from the late 50s, maybe early 60s, so very early in John Williams' career here. And he's just kind of conducting an orchestra, a little jazzy, which is cool. It's actually better than I thought, the music. But I thought if nothing else I'd buy it and, you know, do a little art project, or just, I've been buying a lot of colored vinyl that, you know, stuff I don't really care to listen to, but things I might just kind of hang on the wall, or, I don't know, do an art project with. If I can get them for really cheap, $1 or less. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And let's see what else. This looked, I'd seen this, the cover, the jacket of this, the last few times I've been there, but there was no record in it. But I just thought, you know, that jacket looks so cool. You know, that kind of trippy artwork there. Yeah, maybe I'd buy it and just drop some acid and stare at the cover for a while. But it's called the Sound Around Us, Marty Gold and his orchestra, and I kind of heard of him before, kind of like an exotica, experimental music kind of thing. And this is an RCA Victor stereo pressing. And the reason I bought it this time is I found the record kind of in a pile of other records and could reunite them. The record it's scuffed up, you know, I've been orphaned for a while, but not scuffed up too bad. By kind of reading the description on the back, it calls it a marriage of music and electronics, spellbinding. Doesn't quite live up to that hype. I don't know. Some interesting stuff, but I'll give it a few more lessons to see if it grows on me. But just that you know, those kind of trippy artwork on the cover is the main reason I bought it. I mean, jeez, that's cool. And some kind of junky albums I bought. You know, it was 10 for $2, it's 20 cents a piece. I'm not gonna leave them behind. I didn't know what the heck this was when I saw it, but I thought, ah, it looks cool, whatever that is. I'm probably gonna pick it up. And then I saw on the back it's on Alternative Tentacles Records. And I've heard of that label. I couldn't remember why, but this is there's the label, Alternative Tentacles. It is the Dead Kennedys, Frankenchrist. Yeah, so interesting. It's pretty beat up. I need to clean it up and stuff, but you know, for 20 cents, I don't want to leave it behind. It's worth a shot, seeing if it'll clean up and play. Kind of in the same boat, an old Rolling Stones record. Apparently this was their first live record. Got Live If You Want It. The Rolling Stones on London Records. This is a mono pressing. And yeah, let's see. Yeah, there's the label. So for 20 cents, I'll give it a shot. Unfortunately, my record cleaning machine, my Nitty Gritty, is it's about bit the dust. I came home from work one day, I don't know, maybe about a year ago, and walked through the front door. Actually, outside the door, I heard a weird noise, and I walked through the front door and heard this incredibly loud noise. I was like, what the hell is that? And I first thought it was the TV was on, that somebody left the TV on at full blast, or it'd come on. Maybe the power had gone out and come on. And it sounded like in the old days, you know, before cable, you'd have the TV on and be between channels, just static. It sounded like that at full blast, and I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on. And I quickly narrowed it down to my office room where I'm in now. And I'm looking around, looking at my stereo. The stereo's off, so it's not coming from the speakers. And then I realized it's coming from the floor. My record cleaning machine was on, and apparently been running for who knows how long. The cat, I think, it stepped on the power switch while I was at work and turned the thing on. It had been running for who knows, maybe 2-3 hours. And you know, it had worked surprisingly afterwards for a few months, but now it's just kind of starting to make a grinding noise, and I don't like that. And so I'm going to probably try to send it in for repairs, and hopefully it'll cost less to have it repaired than to buy a new one. But if I have to buy a new one, maybe I'll just bite the bullet and buy a better model, buy a I don't know, like a VPI or something. But anyway, can't really, it's kind of depressing, you know. I miss being able to like just scrub a record up and vacuum it and clean it up and be able to listen to it, what it sounds like without all the dirt. So I've actually been listening to a lot of CDs lately. You know, unless the vinyl is like in pristine shape, when I buy it, I don't really listen to it. So I might do a quick couple-second needle drop just to get a hint, but sucks. I really miss it. I'm thinking about maybe buying a spin clean just in the meantime, or trying to buy a wet dry vacuum and rig up my own vacuum system. But the other one is, let's see, the last one I got from the Goodwill is the John Mayall Blues Breakers, John Mayall's Blues Breakers. It's called Bare Wires. Another one on London. Yeah. Actually, the inside of the gatefold's not too bad. And outside is just, I mean, I don't know what that is. It's not even like typical shelfware. It looks like someone's been sliding this around the ground or something. But on the another one on the London label. So yeah, that's recent vinyl pickups. Like I said, it's just kind of depressing not being able to clean them up, vacuum them off right now. So you know, just have to bite the bullet and get some repairs made or find another solution in the meantime. So thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.